Boys and girls, here we are, trying to catch fish. It's kind of what this channel's about, fishing, bass fishing in particular. But today, we're going to try to catch some fish. It's been a little slow this month, but the month of September is always slow. It's that transitional time. It's a transition between summer and late summer and more summer until we get into October and it actually cools down because, you know, living in the south, it stays like 95 degrees until the last week of October. But no, we're getting there. It's actually pretty cool this morning. We got a little bit of a cool front moving in. As you guys can see, it's kind of cloudy out today. That's bringing in some rain. It's going to bring in some cooler weather, which hopefully is going to lower the water temperatures a little bit and really start to push these shad toward the bank and get the whole fall thing going. But yeah, that's what we're doing this morning. I'm going to start out with a little Rage Menace action on a little bit of a shaky head and see if I can get one of these here basses to take a bite of my cricket. So hopefully you guys will enjoy today's episode. There's fish eating right over there.
Hey! What I'm talking about, biggie?
Come here. He munched it too, dude, right next to that grass. Yep.
Maybe that's the deal. Maybe they're still in the grass, bitch.
Look at that.
He's a chunker. He swamped it, didn't he?
Yep. There we go. Heck yeah. Look at him. Got a few tattoos on him.
Yep.
Cannot beat that. Well, that was fun.
What do you eat this menace?
Yep. Munch the Menace.
This team going to look like you start shaping your identity, I think, this week. And I've said it all week long. Florida could be next to last in FBS and Tennessee could be dead last, and I'm still going to look forward to this game. So it doesn't lose any luster for me that these aren't top 25 teams at this point.
And I think it's the same way, you know, growing up in East Tennessee, especially in these early years. As a kid, it's like,
Hello, boy, Alex.
Watch out.
And that claims to be a Florida fan, and so it's just like, and that's what it's about.
Hey,
And, you know,
that's a good frog fish.
It is. That's fun right there. Little chunk natty on the frog. There he is. Get him. Keep pressure on him. Keep pressure on him. Keep pressure on him. Keep pressure on him. Keep grinding. Keep grinding. He's still on there. Oh, grind his ass out of there. Is he good? Shit. Man, he cleared that grass. Hold on, dude. That's a good one. Yeah. Hey, there's your frogfish.
That was fun.
There you go. Good job.
Good job, man.
That's awesome. That's wicked. Oh my God. Yep. Yep. Ain't that big.
Good enough.
No, I thought he was a lot bigger than he was. Look at that. Hey, look at it. That girl, that grass come up with him. I thought he was a big one. Ah, it's fun. Oh, Lordy.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Oh, what a just had one swirl on mine right there.
Did you? Keep working it.
Come out and pop it.
Yep.
You didn't want him shells, would you?
He's right next to that little tree. Did you see him spit them shad up just then? That or he pooped on me one, I'm not really sure. Nope, that was shad. That's funny. Little chunker there, hey. Little chunk bass there, hey. Yeah.
That's what we're looking for, is it?
No. I'm looking for his big brother. Let's talk about some keys to the success of today's fishing trip. Really, it was 2 key baits. The first bait is this right here. This is really something that I rely on when I'm not getting a ton of bites, and it's something I rely on during transitional periods like we're in right now. September is a big transitional period, especially in East Tennessee, because we're really moving into the fall. We've got a lot shorter days. You know, that length of day is starting to affect how the fish are acting, how the bait fish are acting, but a lot of the times the temperatures still stay high, so it's a really weird kind of transitional period for bass, for bait fish, and something that I like to use when there's a lot of pressure on those bass, when it's a transitional period, is a shaky head, and in particular I like to use a Nichols shaky head. This is a Nichols 3/8 ounce shaky head, and what I like to do is throw that on a bait caster and pair it with a little Menace grub by Strike King. I've found that little compact kind of presentation, that lighter weight with that Strike King bait in particular, makes for a bait that gets a ton of bites. And the reason I think that is because when you combine that lighter weight with this Rage Menace, which has a lot of kick because of those appendages, it kind of slows that fall down, and it just kind of makes that bait almost linger in front of those fish when you flip it into a piece of cover. It just kind of slowly falls. And a lot of the times I've found with a lot of different baits, when it kind of just, you know, there's still movement in it, there's still an up and down, there's still a kick, but it kind of just slowly falls in front of them. A lot of times you'll be able to get a lot more bites that way. And then 2, just a good little compact presentation. You can easily throw it on a bait caster because of that 3/8 ounce size, and it just gets a ton of bites. But yeah, little Nichols shaky head definitely gets a lot of work done, especially in transitional periods, like I said, especially when there's a lot of pressure on the bass, if the water's hot, if you know you're just having trouble getting bites. Downsize to something like this, and I promise you, you're gonna put some fish in the boat. Rod and reel, I throw that on. I pair that with a 7.3 G-Rod Game Changer. This rod right here is excellent for about everything that you can throw at it. It's really good at everything. Really good at skipping though, throwing jigs, shaky heads, things like that. Then I got that pair with a Lew's Team Light 7/5 gear ratio, 17-pound P-line on that one, and just really one of my favorite setups to throw all around when I just need to get a few fish in the boat, when I'm looking for some bites and they're wanting to be a little stingy on me. The next one was, of course, the frog. You guys know it's my favorite way to catch them. Still throwing that old Spro 65 in the freak color, the one that I switched the hooks out on. This fish, or this little frog, is going on about 200 fish now. You can see it is all kinds of jacked up and funky, but they're still wanting to eat it. But 65 Spro bronzeye, 7.3 heavy G-Rod Pro Bass, 7/1-to-1 Lew's BB1 Pro, 65-pound braid. It'll all be the link down in the description. You guys can go check it out. And one of the keys to catching those bass today on that frog was finding those super active mats. And when I say super active mats, is I was listening for the bluegill to be popping. And this time of year, as we start to transition into fall, and we start to transition into that period when the mats start to really mat out, get that cheese on top, those bass will go from living on the edges of the mat and the edges of the grass and in open areas around grass actually into that grass, because that grass caves out and creates a kind of roof over their head, and then that cheese gets on top of it. and when it does, those bluegill will suck up to the bottom of that mat and eat all the little bugs and stuff. And when they do that, they make a popping sound, and it sounds just like Rice Krispies. If you guys have ever ate a bowl of Rice Krispies, if you haven't, go buy some Rice Krispies, pour a little bit in a bowl, pour some milk on top of it, it'll start snap, crackling, popping. It is exactly what it sounds like when bluegills are eating on a mat. And when you hear that, I promise you, if you throw a frog, there will be a bass somewhere in that mat that tries to eat that frog, because what they're doing is they're sitting below those bluegill, using that opportunity while those bluegill are feeding to go and get an easy meal while those bluegill are distracted. But that is it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I know that it is quickly approaching. Fall is getting here. It's starting to get into that transitional period. I've said that word like 9,000 times, but we're getting there. After today, I believe there's a front moving in that's going to bring in some cooler weather. If it'll bring in that cooler weather, that cooler rain, those shorter days, all those things in combination will start to drop that water temperature down. And when it does, it is going to set those bass off, and there's going to be an opportunity to catch a lot of really good bass. And fall is one of my favorite times to go out and fish. But as always, guys, thank you for watching. Any questions or comments, go leave them in the comment section down below. If you're new to my channel, make sure and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to let you guys know when I put out all of my videos. Go down in the description. I have links to all my partners like G-Rod, Luz. You guys can go check out all the baits that I threw today, including the shaky head and the frog. You can check out the braid I used, all that kind of stuff. But as always, you guys are sweet, and thanks for watching.